a Russian lawmaker saying a move by the Biden administration as it relates to Ukraine risks starting World War III. So here's what's happening. President Joe Biden giving Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky the green light to fire long-range weaponry deep into Russian territories. 11,000 North Korean troops join forces with Russian troops. That decision comes as President Joe Biden makes his final appearance on the global stage. Where is he? Well, he was at the Asia-Pacific Economic Forum in Peru. While there, Russia really played big with the talks from leaders from South Korea, Japan, and China. And then the conversation continued here at this location in Brazil. You see the president there at the G20 annual summit. Here's Mr. Biden's remarks during that first session. Listen.
And finally, we all have to work to end the conflicts and crises that are eroding progress and food security around the world. Ukraine. The United States strongly supports Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Everyone around this table, in my view, should as well. And by the way, Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine led to the highest record food prices in all of history.
Let's go live to Brazil and CBS News White House reporter Willie James Inman. Willie, it looks like you've got Copacabana Beach there in your background. Not too shabby, but let's talk some politics here. Biden's chess move with Ukraine top of mind. What more are you hearing from the White House about this?
Hey there, Reed. Good afternoon to you from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Well, President Biden is talking with these world leaders behind the scenes. We really haven't seen him that much, albeit with this first session where he mentioned the comments that you played just now. Now, this is, of course, top of mind for world leaders as they meet here for the G20 Summit. I'll remind our viewers that this is an economic summit, so oftentimes economic policy, addressing key economic issues across the globe are the top priority type conversations that happen here. But this change from the U.S. government to allow Ukraine to use weapons, those missiles, long-range missiles, into Russian territory is certainly something that potentially could come up here in the conversations behind the scenes. We know that the president is going to have those pull-aside meetings with other world leaders, but it's also important to point out that Russia is a member of the G20 summit here. They do have a presence here. The foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, is on the ground. Russian President Vladimir Putin is not in attendance, but the White House isn't saying much. President Biden did mention Ukraine in his remarks there. We also heard from John Feiner. He's the Deputy National Security Advisor. He talked about the reasons potentially why you could see this shift in change, although not confirming this news about these missiles being allowed from the Ukrainians to use into Russian territory. He essentially talked about the reasons potentially why we're seeing this with North Korean troops, as you just mentioned, going into this war with Russian troops. That's the tea leaf. That's the kind of situation, the context, if you will, around this situation. So the White House not saying much, but President Biden saying everyone should support Ukrainian sovereignty as these world leaders meet here in Rio for the G20 summit, Reed.
And we know it's an economic summit, but we also know that the outgoing president made his first stop at the Amazon rainforest. What is the significance there?
Yeah, this was a nod to the president's climate legacy. He talked about supporting or stopping deforestation efforts, supporting the Amazon rainforest, pitching some $50 million for that particular cause. President Biden also, without saying his name, without saying President-elect Donald Trump's name, talked about how the climate agenda has shifted in America. He said, essentially, while people may deny climate change exists, that the benefits of the Inflation Reduction Act, that climate legislation that he was able to sign into law with mostly the support of just Democrats, that Americans are benefiting from those programs that are rolling out across the nation, those tax credits, EV tax credits to better use energy within your home for solar panels and things such as that. So the president saying that it will be hard to roll that back, although acknowledging that a different administration is coming in and that perhaps could end up happening. Although President-elect Trump, as president, couldn't do it unilaterally, he'll need the help of Congress to do just that, to rescind that climate policy that President Biden has campaigned hard to push forward, Reed.
All right, Willie James Inman, live from Rio. Thank you so much. We appreciate your reporting today.